Republicans abandoned their blockade against legislation to clamp tough new controls on Wall Street. Yeah, they cut and run. Yeah, they did. Which means that likely to pass will be the most sweeping rewrite of financial reform rules, or financial rules since the Great Depression. According to, where are we getting this from? Huffington Post. Democrats and Republicans agree the Senate will ultimately pass landmark changes aimed at preventing a recurrence of the crisis that knocked the nation's financial system to its knees. The battle now begins over crucial details. Blah, 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 blah. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat of Rhode Island, said, quote, there's been immense pressure bottled up inside the Republican caucus through these last three votes, where they all voted no. A lot of their members have been very deeply unhappy with the direction their leadership has been taking them. Better heads prevailed, end quote. Democrats had threatened to hold the Senate in session all night, making their case that the Republicans were stalling legislation of importance to virtually every American. The Democrats have also been laying plans to make the legislation a major issue in midterm elections this summer and fall. The Republican retreat came one day after senior execs of Wall Street giant Goldman Sachs were denounced by lawmakers from both parties at a marathon Senate hearing. Blah, 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 blah. The Republican decision to relent came after Senator Richard Shelby from Alabama, the top Republican on the Senate Banking Committee, told his colleagues that he could win no further concessions from Banking Committee Chairman Chris Dodd in private talks. Senator Shelby said Dodd did agree to adjust some provisions that Republicans had complained would permit further bank bailouts. There are already signs that some Republicans were growing weary of continuing to block the bill after Obama and other Democrats accused them of siding with Wall Street. Senator Olympia Snowe, Republican of Maine, said of her party's objections, quote, the point of all this was to make sure that as long as those discussions could bear results, that we would support that effort. Now we proceed to the floor for amendments on the remainder of the bill, end quote. Senator Bob Corker, a Tennessee Republican, said, quote, it's not just Republicans who are going to offer amendments. This may be a real debate, which would shock America, end quote. Yeah, you dumbass. Of course it would. You Republicans, all you Republicans can say is, tax cuts. We want some tax cuts. We want some tax cuts. We want some tax cuts. Why don't you sit down and shut the hell up? You know what I'm saying? All of you thugs. So there you go. The Republicans being the liar, and thanks to Jennifer for notifying me of that. Republicans being the lying, sneaking, unethical, immoral swine that they are, all of them. Yes, even the sainted Olympia Snowe, as long as she's a Republican. And the people who vote Republican are even worse because they enable these cretins to stay in office. Based on all of that, it was just a matter of time before these slime balls caved, which is what Republicans always do, unless, you know, they're bullies. They're like, we've said this before, they're like grade school bullies on the playground. As long as they outnumber what they perceive to be their opposition, that would be the Democrats in the Senate or the House. Of course, their real enemy are normal people out here in the real world. But as long as Republicans are in positions of power, they're real bully boys. They're just like the brown shirts or like the Gestapo. They're just absolute snotty, arrogant, condescending bully boys. And if they don't get their own way, they just whine and suck their thumbs and stamp their feet and pee their pants and talk about how Obama's a socialist. And unions are the work of the devil. And women ought to go back to the kitchen or the bedroom where they damn well belong. But once they're out of a position of power, as long as there are some Democrats in power who know when to kick the Republicans' asses up around their shoulders, then work gets done. Republicans love to be beaten. They are masochistic that way. Hit me, flail me, make me sign off on Democrat-sponsored legislation, anything. They are. They're masochists. And once you understand that, if you're in a leadership position in the House or the Senate, once you understand what you're dealing with, these little bully boys, beat them. As long as you beat them, you'll get what you need from them. Just beat them, kick them, stomp them. Go in their hair. Do whatever it has to, whatever it takes to satisfy their lust for pain. But give it to them. Yeah, I mean, take a look at John Boner. Is that the face of a masochist? Look at him. Look at Mitch Look at Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell looks like he has a perpetual sign not hanging to his back that says kick me, but taped across his forehead that says slap me. Repeatedly. And poor old John Boner. Huh? How about him? Well, we're never going to do this. You like my tan? Kick me. Please. Oh, God. Do it again. Oh, God. Do it again. Bunch of freaks. So, the thugs blinked. The Democrats, I don't know where the Democrats developed the spine. Good for you. I mean, I'm not going to, I don't even care if it's bad legislation. I don't think it could be in this particular instance. But just to see the Democrats conduct themselves the way you have to conduct yourself in the cesspool that is the United States Senate, where you have 41 of these freakish bastards called Republicans. Kick their asses. That's what you have to do, boys. Kick them hard. They love it. And they'll respond. Twits.